This is actually really funny.
About the 6th district guy in Michigan who was endorsed by Trump, former Navy guy. His name is Hassan, Amir Hassan, right? He dropped being a Muslim, became a Christian, and endorsed by Trump. Trump had him up there. You guys see me? Am I still lagging? Type 1 if you see me. Type 1. I just put my VPN on. That's probably why it's lagging. Am I lagging? All right, let me kill it. Let's reset. The delay on this stuff is so shitty. I restarted it. So this is hilarious. Fueling, saying that we're communists now. All of a sudden we're communists, right? All of a sudden Democrats are communists, and the social, the Social Democratic Party, or Democratic Social, DSP, I guess. Is it DSP? I guess it's DSP. So Democratic Socialist Party. And the funny thing is Abdul isn't even part of that party, right? Isn't part of the party. He's not even a Democratic Socialist. The guy who won in Michigan, and all he wants is instead of spending the money to to Israel, he wants to spend the money on Michigan people. He wants to increase their health care and everything else, and help Michigan people, help the schools, right? That's his whole platform. Help the schools, help the people, put more money in their pocket, make sure everyone has health insurance. That's his platform. Why are we sending money to Israel? And that's the question everyone needs to be asking. Why are we sending money to Israel? All right? We don't need to be sending money to Israel. And we need to be holding them the same accountabilities we would any other nation that's doing what they're doing. So here's the funny thing. There's this guy called Amir Hassan, who was, I got the picture of, a black guy, right? Black men for Trump. It's kind of weird, right? He figured he could, get Trump's power. I mean, people just corrupt themselves for access to power and everything else. He wants to be in the family. And there was a guy called Tom Snyder who'd started a campaign. He wrote in his thing and he withdrew, but he withdrew so late that he's on the ticket. He ended up beating Trump's pick by 20 points. Isn't that crazy? Because his name is Tom Snyder. Oh, Tom Snyder. That sounds like, I'm not going to vote for this guy, Amir Hassan. Oh no, Amir Hassan. Oh no, that's some crazy Muslim. The guy went off because there was so much conspiracy about him, like he's a plant, like he's, I don't know, maybe the Democrats did it. Wouldn't it be funny, guys, if that was all done by some Democrat bots? That'd be so amazing. If Trump's guy was tanked by a bot farm, maybe like Iranian bot farm tanked that guy, and they all thought that this guy Amir Hassan was a Muslim, and he's not, right? And he lost by 20 points. This shit's insane. You can't make this shit up. MAGA becomes such racists and such bigots that they see a black guy who is on the ballot, and his name is Hassan, Amir Hassan. They just assume the guy is a terrorist. That's how dumb MAGA is. They're so fucking dumb that they don't even know, who endorsed Trump. Oh my God, it's so great. And like they have so lost it. And it was so great seeing people like Fetterman, losing it. And did you guys see Fetterman on what's his name? What's the guy's daily, whatever it is, the show. I can't remember his name. The comedian dude. He just couldn't. I mean, you could see his brain doesn't work anymore. Featherman's brain doesn't work. He's been programmed. Like like Israel just programmed him. Israel, I am just Israel. I need to protect Israel. I mean, why move to Israel then? Go run in Israel. Get the fuck out of America. No one gives a fuck about Israel anymore, right? They're forever wars, us pulling us into. It's because of Israel that our gas prices are so fucking shit. It's because of Israel that we have Trump. It's because of Israel that we're in forever wars. All right, Israel has drawn us into all these fucking wars. Enough's enough. So that's what I think. What arrested if Democrats win November? We have to win. The thing is, here's Dylan. We have to win in such landslides, which I think we will, that there is no matter what he says, it's done. We have to win in such fucking landslides, and it's already happening. I mean, the fact that the guy that Trump supported in Michigan lost by 20 points, right? Maybe they're like, oh, Trump supported this guy. Fuck this guy. The Republican, the GOP really have left MAGA. I really think MAGA now is just the pedos, the racists, the bigots. I mean, that's all that's left in MAGA now, are just the dredge of society. The pedophiles, the rapists, the piece of shit. So that's the only thing is left. That's my opinion, right? Yeah, he is, George, because I'm an American. I do. I think about Trump every fucking day and how to defeat him this November. And I'm here as a cheerleader to encourage my fellow Americans to revolt against a pedophile rapist. I don't know. I mean, George, you don't give a fuck that a pedophile rapist is your president? That's the bigger question, George. George, why aren't you concerned that we have a pedo POTUS, right, who is grifting and stealing and violating the Constitution, attacking the Constitution? He attacked the Constitution again. He passed another executive order attacking the Constitution, and you don't give a fuck. You should really question yourself, dude. You should really question yourself. Why don't you give a fuck, George? Dude, I have to come out every day and speak, truth to power. It's the least I could do. But I just think it's so funny that Trump lost. A guy that was endorsed by Trump lost by 20 points. That's just crazy. That shit's crazy. He's pedo POTUS. Dylan, I call him pedo POTUS. He's pedo president of the United States. The pedophile president he's pedo POTUS. I came up with that term. Hashtag pedo POTUS. Put it in. I invented that term, right? Pedo POTUS. I think it's a great one. Just like Fcuk Christian Pedo-lovin Nazi. Another thing I invented. I invented that phrase. Fcuk Christian Pedo-lovin Nazi. That's what they are. They're a bunch of fake fuck Christians. They don't believe in Christ. They don't believe in the teachings of Jesus or the gospel. They're they're pedo loving. All right, you're a pedo. Yeah, I'm irrelevant. I am. So why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you one of three people in here? Why? Obviously, I'm not, because you're in here saying I'm irrelevant. Every little bit counts. My channel's got, adding members. I've got shorts going out every day, my message going out every day. Millions of people see my message, right? Tens of thousands of people see my work. So, that's not irrelevant. That's a voice. Every little bit. If there's 100 of me, right, 1,000 of me out there speaking truth to power. What matters is the rule of law. What matters is, we don't have pedophiles as president. What matters is we don't have politicians grifting America, stealing billions. That's what matters. But you don't care. You don't care that Trump is basically using the federal government as his piggyback. You don't care that that he gave clemency to over 2,000 people that harmed 150 police officers, 5 of which died as a result of the event, directly and indirect. You don't care about insurrectionists. You don't care. So, me going live every day, talking about it, sharing it. This is what it sounds like to be American. Even if I'm an American in Japan, I'm an American. Yeah, he's an agent. He's not a KGB agent. He's not a KGB agent, Dylan. He's a bagman. Now, he's not a KGB agent. He's a bagman for he was a bagman for the KGB, right? He was a useful idiot for the KGB. They've got the videos and everything else, and this is in the 80s, right? This is why Putin controls them, because Putin has his P tapes, has all the fucking videos, all that shit's gonna come out. We're all gonna see it. Putin's biggest fucking claim was putting in an asset to be the president of America. I mean, he was able to destroy America with Trump. That's what Trump's job is, destroy. Look what he's done. I mean, people now look at China. China has a higher standing than we do. China is making more money than we are now in Europe and everything else. China, I mean, is winning because of Trump. Trump gave China the world as the next hegemon on that. Yeah. Yeah, and it's the oligarchs. Just the oligarchs. I mean, the oligarchs who want to, and they're fearful of the Abdul. We need to get politics out of our politics. There's a revolution coming. These billionaires are afraid. Peter Thiel's already afraid. Peter Thiel's already left. He's become an Argentinian citizen. He's moved to Argentina. He's afraid, right? But I hope Argentina rises up and fucking holds his feet to the fire. All right, here we go, son. I got cuts it on if y'all cuts it on. You can try it.
Why you parks always close to me?
I want to be in the shade.
The shade moves.
No, it's going this way. I'm in the shade. That's why. And I didn't.
The shade moves.
Yeah, it's going.
You park over there.
Yeah, but I'm in the sun. I don't want to be in the sun. I'm trying to be in the shade. Listen, it's my car. When you start fucking driving, son, then you decide where you're gonna park. Until then, what? I'm not gonna hit the door. See? What are you crying about? I got Tommy. Whose is that?
Mine.
Huh? I'm not taking that.
My hand's full.
They're not full. You can still. I carry 3 bags when I go grocery shopping. You can't carry this bag and that bag. Here, look at that.
Not bad.
Here, see, you can do it. Yeah. What? All right. God damn. See, he's upset. See, I wanted to park in the shade. See the shades right there? He's like, you're parking not on the. He wants me to park in my new parking spot. Oh. Yeah. I don't know Agenda 2030. What is Agenda 2030? Is that a Democratic thing? I don't know what Agenda 2030 is. Where's my other phone? Where's my phone? I don't see my phone in here. My other phone must be in the. Oh my God, it's too hot. It's too fucking hot. Too hot. Too hot. It's a dumb Jim. Now you're Jim Ray. We got Pedo Jim in the house. Oh.
Is there something sweet?
No, nothing sweet.
Why it smells so sweet?
That was my katsudon, maybe. It's the katsudon.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? You want a katsudon?
Yeah.
Or you want chicken? Huh?
What did you use for coffee?
What do you mean?
Meat.
Pork?
Pork.
Oh. Oh shit! I turned it off by mistake, Tommy. You got to come here and turn it on. I don't know what it. Because these buttons are so close. So when I close it, I actually hit it. Put on the warm, which is warm. Oh, I actually turned it off. Oh, warm set this. No, that's like English. That's like English. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, hear that? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Bluetooth. I don't want that on. Forget that device. Forget that device. Okay. Let's see that. This is going to connect. There it goes.
Green has finally said it. She has finally posted it on social media, and it seems like she's going full steam ahead of the Trump administration, not backing off, practically declaring war on Trump and the MAGA movement. A complete reversal because, you know, she used to be Donald Trump's best friend, one of his biggest allies in Congress, and now we're here. And of course, this is connected to this photo right here, because it seems like, and this was taken recently, it seems like Marjorie Taylor Greene has already chosen who she's going to endorse in the 2028 presidential election. And yes, that person is sitting at this table. We'll talk about all of that and more. But I do want to start with the statement that Marjorie Taylor Greene recently made on social media.
I don't have any sauce.
Do
you want mustard or ketchup on it? What do you want?
You're crazy, or however long ago.
Huh?
She was a fan of Donald
Trump,
and now
how about mayonnaise?
Reversal. And I will
mayonnaise
this video by saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is still a lunatic.
I already have salt and pepper on it.
Donald Trump, she's right about a lot of it. Inflation, the Epstein files, but she is still insane. She's still a conspiracy.
How about tomato sauce?
I just cover her because I like watching Republicans fight with each other, if I'm being honest. But let me show you what Marjorie Taylor Greene said.
Here's your dad's katsudon.
So, this statement from
here's a katsudon. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. Look at that katsudon. Here, I don't have any katsudon sauce though.
Refuses to publicly apologize to the American people for creating more inflation and high gas prices with the Iran war will not be trusted.
Only this much of rice.
There's more. You want more?
Why pork and rice?
For Trump,
Oh.
also members of his team who want to run for president, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, and anybody else.
I thought you were American. Wanted to eat American. Practice your American.
64% of Americans are against the Iran war, and it's a complete betrayal of campaign promises. The Epstein files are still not fully released, which has been one of the biggest issues the American people have demanded in recent history. Lowering cost of living and gas prices was a key campaign promise that had been completely broken because of Trump's Iran war, making cost of living even worse for the American people. You won't get to walk out on the 2028 presidential debate stage with your anti-neocon tough talk and try to tell us that this time will be different, because all we will see is your blood stains from 18 U.S. service members and children of the Manab Girls School.
Here you go.
School in Iran that Donald Trump bombed, killing a bunch of school children.
Yeah. Well, milk or water?
Might I add. I don't believe you when you claim to bring transparency.
What did you do with your drink?
Because the Epstein victims will still be crying out.
Where's the pet bottle?
and the justice they never received. And if you
Did you fill it up?
America First, claiming what's on his agenda.
Yeah, too much water. You see how you have all the way to the top?
That's
MNC and
I
other
don't want
corporate
it
tax
ice.
dollars.
Yeah,
that
no,
always fight
no,
against
no.
Americans first. You are
But it
it.
doesn't matter. If you forget about it, it turns ice, you'll break the bottle. That's just fine, just a little.
Even if they are your donors.
What? No, it's gonna freeze. When are you gonna take it out again? When are you gonna take it out? Tomorrow?
It won't freeze.
It will.
There-
It will freeze.
Look it up.
It will freeze. It will freeze.
It won't.
It will freeze.
It won't.
What do you mean it won't?
Because there's no air in there.
It's gonna freeze.
How?
To me, the water molecules freeze. Did you go back to school? You gotta go back to school. He thinks if he fills the thing all the way to the top, there's no air in there.
I don't think that.
She said
Now, like,
approximately
now-
45% of
That's fine.
I said I have a.
Yeah, it's fine.
What do you mean it's fine?
It's
That gives you an
fine.
idea of what Marjorie
Go
Taylor
eat.
Greene's
Go
next
eat.
move might
You
be
want
in
milk?
politics.
What do you want,
I
milk?
thought that really she might retire
Huh?
and go
Get
work
my
in the
milk.
private sector or something,
Huh?
and just like go away. Seems like that is not the case. Here's another thing I wanted to show you. Marjorie Taylor
That's
Greene
Tommy.
in a recent
That's
podcast
Tommy,
kind of
JS.
outlining similar ideas that she did in this post. And this was like this podcast with this guy named Brandon Straka, who, by the way, January 6th insurrectionist, might add, was there at the Capitol on that day. So take a look at what MTG had to say.
So we have to have a real discussion to figure out what does the future
Exactly.
look like. And there's multiple paths to that.
You have to leave. This is what.
One of them, and Dean, is
Look, you have to leave air in it for expansion. Otherwise, the plastic bottle will split wide when it freezes. Exactly. He had it filled all the way to the top with no air in there at all.
But I'm gonna take it out.
But I didn't know that. How's my katsudo?
The taste is fine.
What's missing? What do you mean the taste is fine?
But
What?
it's not stick.
What do you mean it's not stick? Yeah, well that's normal.
No, it's not.
It's normal.
If you're gonna make console, it can be like,
Well, they said put flour on it first. Why didn't it stick? I just followed the directions.
well, the taste is pretty.
Let's make more yogurt. We'll make more yogurt. Yeah, they're racist, dude. They're racist because the proof is in the Michigan District 6. The guy that Trump endorsed in campaign and the funding, right? His name was Amir Hassan. Amir Hassan. And was it Amir Hassan? What was it? I put in the description. Read the description, right? So here it is. Here's his proof that Trump voters are racist, right? Here's proof. Here's the proof. I'm going to give you the proof, right, on it. I'm going to give you the proof right here. Okay, here's the proof. Listen up, son. Listen up.
News coverage and social media detail from the campaign featuring Amir Hassan, the candidate endorsed by Donald Trump in Michigan's 8th
Black.
Congressional District.
Black
Primary
candidate.
election for Michigan's 8th District, which includes Flint, Saginaw, and Midland, received widespread national coverage due to the unusual outcome of an endorsed candidate losing to a competitor who had previously suspended his campaign.
You hear that? All right. Explain how this, in a way, provides some justification that the Trump supporter are either racist or Islamophobic because they voted against his name. Also, deep dive into what they were saying and everything else, and how the candidate had to come out and say that I'm a Christian and everything else. And yet he lost by 20 points. Delve into all of that, because I think it shows in a way what Trump is doing by creating all this xenophobia. I don't know if that's the right word, Islamophobia and everything else, because of the only rationale is it's because of the color of his skin, which he was black, or his name, which was Islamic. in nature, and for it. So deep dive, apply critical thinking, and why did he lose by 20 points to a guy who withdrew from the election? Tom Snyder. I live in Japan, brother. Look at you. Look, violence. Look at violence. Hey, I got a proxy, though. I have a proxy. Hey, I've got a
The August 2026 Republican primary in Michigan.
pissed off veteran will take you up on that.
Tom Smith, a candidate who suspended his campaign and spent just $1,850, defeated Donald Trump endorsed candidate Amir Hassan by over 17 percentage points, 50.4% to 33.2%. Serves as a striking case study in political identity, voter heuristics, and the unintended consequences of nativist rhetoric within a party's primary electorate. An analysis of why a heavily funded, high-profile candidate lost so decisively to a withdrawn competitor illuminates the dynamics of racial and religious bias in modern electoral politics. 1. The defense.
Well, not modern electoral, MAGA electoral politics, right? You say modern electoral politics? No, it's MAGA. It's the the Trump supporter. All of the hatred and everything else. Look at all the rhetoric, all of the stuff they're saying about. You have to look at Abdul Saeed, the other Michigan guy, and all the hate against him. And obviously, when they went to vote, they were thinking that this guy was that guy. So all of the negative campaigning they spent. So basically, the $60 million that AIPAC spent to attack, right, Saeed ended up hurting the other campaign in which Trump supported, and the guy only spent $1,000 and ended up winning. They're not going to attack Japan. I don't worry at all. Not worried at all about China. Let them come. We'll be like, hey, come on over. Not worried about it. We'll have nukes by then. Japan is already working on nukes.
Amir Hassan in Michigan's 8th District primary demonstrates how anti-Muslim sentiment and anti-Arabic name bias within the MAGA primary base have become so deeply entrenched that they can overpower even Donald Trump's direct endorsement. The identity heuristic in the MAGA ecosystem. In primary elections where voters have limited candidate information, name recognition and cultural markers dictate voter behavior.
That's right.
For years, right-wing rhetoric and conservative media in Michigan have targeted high-profile Muslim figures like former state health director Abdul El-Sayed and U.S. Representative Rashida Tlaib, painting their backgrounds with suspicion. When conservative primary voters enter the voting booth, that long-standing rhetoric creates a blunt, binary filter.
Because they're dumb.
Of identity. Low information voters do not analyze policy nuance or political party affiliation.
No.
They conflate a conservative, Christian convert Republican Navy veteran like Amir Hassan with progressive Democrats simply because of an Arabic name. The Trojan horse suspicions. Right-wing primary opponents actively exploited this dynamic. Opponent Lemmo labeled Hassan a Trojan horse candidate, directly capitalizing on xenophobic tropes that Hassan was hiding his true identity or faith, despite his public declarations of Christianity. Advertising saturation and political spillover, while spending from groups like AIPAC primarily targets Democratic primaries to defeat progressive or pro-Palestinian candidates. The cumulative impact of tens of millions of dollars spent on identity-focused attack ads across Michigan creates a pervasive political environment centered on Middle Eastern identity and foreign policy. In a saturated media landscape, negative framing around Arab and Muslim political figures leaks across party lines. Conservative primary voters, already primed by national MAGA rhetoric on immigration, Christian nationalism, and foreign threats, defaulted to rejecting any candidate with an Islamic name, regardless of who endorsed him. The ultimate political irony. The August 2026 primary outcome exposed the absolute limit of Donald Trump's endorsement when it clashes with the nativist instincts his movement cultivated. Amir Hassan, backed by Trump, featured on stage with Trump in July, supported by the NRCC, and armed with over $600,000 in campaign spending. Tom Smith spent $0, dropped out of the race weeks prior, endorsed a rival candidate, and gave a 13-second speech after winning. Over 31,000 Republican primary voters chose Tom Smith simply because the name sounded familiar and safe.
Tom
A
Smith.
candidate who was no longer actively running a 17-point victory over
Yeah.
Trump's chosen pick.
Yeah.
Would you like to examine how this outcome affects the general election matchup against Representative Kristen?
Yeah, how's it going to match up? Tom Smith. I want to know. I want to know everything about Tom Smith. I love Tom Smith. Here you go. Here's the reality. Hey, dumb fucks, MAGA dumb fucks. Here's the reality about what happened. Because you're xenophobic, you're bigoted, racist, right? You lost this guy. You lost this campaign. All right. This is the reality now, bitches. This is the reality. Listen up.
Smith's primary victory severely diminishes Republican chances of flipping Michigan's 8th congressional district, shifting what was expected to be a premier national battleground heavily in favor of Democratic incumbent Representative Kristen McDonald-Rivet. The district, stretching across Bay, Genesee, Midland, and Saginaw counties, including Flint, is one of the few remaining split districts in the nation, having voted for Donald Trump in 2024, while simultaneously electing a Democrat to the U.S. House. 1. Severe infrastructure and financial disparity. Tom Smith's position. Prior to his primary win, Smith raised just $1,850, filing his Federal Election Commission reports via handwritten paper notes because he struggled with the online portal. He has no formal campaign manager, press team, or regional field organization.
Nothing.
McDonald-Rivet's position.
Tom
As
Smith.
a first-term incumbent, McDonald-Rivet enters the general election cycle with millions of dollars in cash on hand, a fully staffed campaign infrastructure, and deep organizing networks among labor unions and local community groups across mid-Michigan.
I love Tom Smith.
National GOP realignment and capital Flint. National Republican campaign committees, such as the NRCC and major conservative super PACs, had earmarked millions in ad spending for MI-08, under the assumption that Amir Hassan, a Black Navy veteran with a federal law enforcement background, could actively compete for urban voters in Flint while holding conservative rural areas. With Smith winning the nomination after suspending his campaign, national strategists face a triage scenario. Outside groups are unlikely to invest heavily in an unstaffed campaign where the nominee is a 74-year-old retired engineer who spent virtually nothing in the primary. National GOP funds are expected to be diverted to more viable toss-up seats across the country, effectively leaving Smith to run a self-funded, grassroots campaign in a costly media market. 3.
I want to know everything about Tom Smith. I want you to become a subject matter expert in Tom Smith. I want you to dork into everything we know about him, his social media, everything, his platform, what he stands for. 78 years old. Huh, he's a good young candidate. Perfect. We're making yogurt. So you take milk, pour the milk. This is milk. This was milk. Now it's yogurt. Nani? Omega.
Thomas Tom J. Smith, the 74-year-old retired automotive engineer and salsa vendor who accidentally won the 2026 Republican nomination for Michigan's 8th congressional district, reveals one of the most unusual campaign profiles in recent congressional history. 1. Biography and background. Age and residence, 74 years old, residing in Flint, Michigan. Education, earned a bachelor's degree from Kettering University, formerly the General Motors Institute in Flint, followed by a graduate degree from Michigan State University. Primary career, spent decades working as an engineer for General Motors before retiring. Side business, co-owns a small artisanal salsa business. On weekends, he and his military veteran son sell homemade salsa, made using a recipe his son developed while deployed in the military, at the Flint Farmers Market. 2. Campaign operations and tech literacy. Smith's operational footprint was virtually non-existent compared to standard modern congressional campaigns. Total fundraising. Raised just $1,850 through June 30th, 2026, compared to over $700,000 raised by Trump-backed opponent Amir Hassan, and over $5 million by Democratic incumbent Kristen McDonald-Rivet. Handwritten FEC filings. Unable to navigate the Federal Election Commission's online filing system, Smith mailed in handwritten financial disclosures.
I love
In
Smith.
a postscript to the FEC, he wrote, I could not file this form electronically because I have had no success logging in and have not been able to get a response from the help desk. Staffing, no paid campaign team, no digital directors, no field staff, and no media relations coordinator. 3. Social media presence and digital footprint. Smith's digital campaign footprint consisted primarily of a single Facebook page, the anti-campaign campaign. In mid-July 2026, Smith used his
You want another?
to post a brief
You want another one, Tommy?
announcing that he was suspending his
I got another
candidacy,
one. You want?
endorsing his rival. In the video and accompanying posts, Smith explicitly instructed voters not to vote for him and instead urged Republicans to unite behind third candidate Al Lemmo to block Amir Hassan. Total absence on issue surveys. On voter guide databases, such as iVoterGuide, Smith's profile lists did not answer for every single policy issue, including abortion, gun control, tax policy, healthcare, foreign intervention, and energy policy. 4. Platform and policy stances. Because Smith did not publish a policy platform during his active or suspended campaign, his platform consists of canned National Republican slogans adopted after his surprise win, post-win statements. In a written press release issued after his primary victory was called, Smith stated he looked forward to working with Speaker Mike Johnson and the entire Republican team to expand our House majority and advance President Trump's America First agenda. Rhetorical style. At the state party's unity luncheon in Warren, Michigan, Smith gave a brief 13-second speech where
13 seconds!
contrast was declaring his intention to unseat communist comrade Rivet.
13 seconds! Oh my God, you guys got a winner there. Tom Smith. Oh, good old Tom. That is so funny. Did you hear that? Hey, did you guys hear? Did you guys hear that? Did you guys know what this is about? Type 1 if you understand, if you've been here long enough, that what I'm talking about. This is the funniest fucking shit ever to happen, right? Type 1 if you understand, type 0 if you don't, and I'll explain it to you really quick. So this is so fucking funny, right? Anyone here, everyone understands what's going on, right, with Tom Smith? And it just shows that MAGA are a bunch of racist bigots, pedo-loving Nazis, fake fuck. We gotta add racist bigot into FFCPLN, right? They're a bunch of fake fuck Christian, pedo-loving Nazi, right? Bigot, racist. BR. We have to add a BR on the end. We're gonna have to add a BR on the bigoted racist. They're a bunch of fake fuck Christian, pedo-loving, right? Nazi, bigoted racist. That's what it is. That's what we got. We got a good BR. We got to add a BR now because of Mike Smith. That's the Mike Smith edition, right? Fake fuck Christian, pedo-loving, Nazi, bigoted racist. That's what they are. MAGA. BR. All right. Bigoted, racist, fake fuck Christian. Yeah, it has to go at the end. I think it has to go at the end. I think fake fuck Christian has to be in the front because they exalt themselves as Christian nationalists. Yeah, they are. They're the white Taliban. They are the white Taliban, or they're really the Islamic, right? They're really, I don't know what they really love Iran, right? They love Iran so much that they wanted to take it over. They're jealous of Iran. They want Trump to become the Ayatollah, right? They see Trump as the Ayatollah, right? And the religious people around it. What's up, JS? Right? American jihadi, right? So that's just so fun. This has to be the funniest fucking shit ever. It's got to be the funniest shit ever. Right. So 74-year-old guy drops out of the race. Only he didn't raise any money. He only put in $1,000 of his own money. Ends up beating a MAGA dude, black dude, right? Amir Hassan, who had raised $600,000. What would be the ratio of money of the campaigns that he won? Would that be 600 to 1 or something? If he only raised it 1,000 and the guy had 600,000, what is that? That's 600 to 1, right? 600 to 1 ratio. Oh, 100 to 1?
Hypothetical scenario from prompt. $600,000 versus $1,000. Hypo underscore Hassan equals 600,000. Hypo underscore Smith equals 1,000. Hypo underscore ratio equals hypo underscore Hassan slash hypo underscore Smith. Reported numbers. Hassan approximately $700,000 versus Smith $1,850. Actual underscore Hassan equals 700,000. Actual underscore Smith equals 1850. Actual underscore ratio equals actual underscore Hassan slash actual underscore Smith. Print. F. Hypothetical ratio.
No, it's three.
$600,000 per 1,000. Hypo underscore ratio. 2F1. Print. F. Actual reported ratio. $700,000, $1,850. Actual underscore ratio. 0.2F1. If a candidate has $600,000 and another raises $1,000, the mathematical ratio is, this gives a ratio of 600 to 1, or 600 to 1, using the reported official FEC filing totals for the candidates. Amir Hassan, approximately $700,000. Tom Smith, $1,850. The calculation for the actual fundraising ratio is, breakdown of the spending disparity, actual ratio. Hassan outraised and outspent Smith by approximately 378 to 1. Percentage comparison, Smith raised just 0.26% of what Hassan raised. Cost per vote. Hassan spent roughly $33.70 per vote received, approximately 20,700 votes. Smith spent roughly 6 cents per vote received, approximately 31,400 votes. Actually, let me try that one more time. If a candidate has...
No, that's good. No, that's good. All right. So that's just insane that Trump's rhetoric, Trump's bigoted, racist rhetoric that the party now is doing, they're all going to have to change their name. They can't run any candidate with a Muslim name. Otherwise, they risk this again, right?
Outcome in Michigan's 8th District highlights a distinct dilemma for political strategists. Party leadership's goal of recruiting diverse candidates to win general elections often collides with the identity filters and characteristics
nice
of
energy.
information primary electorates. While this primary demonstrates how potent anti-Muslim sentiment and identity cues remain in down-ballot conservative primaries, political science and recent electoral history show that the dynamic is nuanced rather than an absolute rule. 1. The strategy gap. Recruitment versus primary electorate. National campaign committees, like the NRCC, frequently see candidates who break standard demographic molds, such as Amir Hassan, a Black Muslim-born Christian member and Navy veteran, specifically to appeal to suburban, moderate, or swing voters in November. However, primary voters and general election voters operate on fundamentally different incentives. Primary voters, highly partisan, ideological, and sensitive to cultural identity markers. In low-information races where voters haven't researched every candidate, non-Anglo-Saxon or Islamic-sounding names often trigger implicit bias or suspicions of being an outsider. General election voters, broader demographic mix where candidate background, policy contrast, and local issues play a larger role. 2. High name recognition can overcome the filter. A non-traditional or Muslim name is not
breaking down all the math
barrier in every Republican primary, but overcoming it requires massive baseline name recognition or media dominance. Mehmet Oz, Pennsylvania 2022. Dr. Oz, a secular Muslim, won the 2022 Republican Senate primary in Pennsylvania with Donald Trump's endorsement. However, Oz had decades of daily television exposure and near 100% household name recognition before entering the race. Abe Hamadeh, Arizona 2022 and 2024. Hamadeh, born to Syrian immigrant parents, won GOP primaries for Attorney General and U.S. House in Arizona by aligning tightly with MAGA media channels and securing high visibility endorsements. In contrast, when a candidate like Hassan relies on standard campaign infrastructure without built-in celebrity status, low information primary voters default to familiar generic names like Tom Smith. 3. The structural takeaway of campaign strategy. Rather than changing candidate names, political strategists draw a few distinct operational conclusions from the MI08 primary. Saturated counter-messaging is required. In primary districts with strong nativist or Christian nationalist rhetoric, candidates with non-traditional backgrounds cannot rely on quiet endorsements or traditional advice. They must spend heavily on direct, early voter contact to define their personal identity before opponents or rumors define it for them. The default name risk, running against a candidate named Smith, Jones, or Miller in a low information primary poses a unique hazard. Undecided or disengaged voters who enter the booth without a clear plan routinely default to the most traditional or locally familiar name on the ballot. The MI08 result stands as a striking example of how long-standing political rhetoric creates cultural filters strong enough to defeat millions of dollars in campaign spending and a direct endorsement from the party's leader. Want to examine how other non-traditional Republican candidates have navigated primary elections?
No. I think it's stronger to show that it really, I don't know when was the last time something like this happened. Can you search? Because I think it shows that the strategy that Trump is employing is really a bigoted, racist, Islamophobia. And his base, there was a police officer, a Muslim police officer, I don't know if he was Muslim, he was shot and killed. And at the Trump rally, the guy wanted to say, hey, let's have a moment of silence. And the guy started to mention his name. And immediately there was boos. Even though they didn't know who it was, they heard the Muslim name, and they're brainwashed now to think any Muslim name is a terrorist. Any Muslim name is anti-American, right? Talk about that.
Precedents for an outcome like Michigan's 8th district, where an unstaffed, non-campaigning, or dropped-out candidate defeats a heavily funded,
I don't think it's ever happened
by a
before.
large margin, are remarkably rare in modern American politics. When looking at the history of electoral anomalies and how anti-Islamic bias functions in political rallies and primaries, a few key historical parallels stand out. 1. Historical precedents: ghost candidates winning primaries. In low-information primary elections, voters who do not know the details of every candidate default almost entirely to name familiarities or standard cultural cues. Alvin Green, South Carolina, 2010. In the 2010 Democratic U.S. Senate primary in South Carolina, Alvin Green, an unemployed veteran who did no campaigning, raised no money, had no website, and didn't hold a single rally, defeated Vic Rawl, a prominent former state legislator, by 18 percentage points, 59% to 41%. Political scientists concluded that low-information primary voters selected Green simply because his name appeared first on the ballot or felt generically familiar, overriding Rawl's actual campaign setup. David Bratt versus Eric Cantor, Virginia, 2014. While Bratt was actively running, sitting House Majority Leader Eric Cantor was outspent 40-1 and held a national platform, yet lost his primary by 11 points. However, Bratt was an active campaigner. The Michigan outcome goes a step further. Because Tom Smith had explicitly suspended his campaign, posted a video telling people not to vote for him, and spent under $2,000, yet still won by 17 points over a candidate with $700,000 and Donald Trump's endorsement. 2. The mechanics of name bias and conditioned reflexes, the phenomenon where voters react automatically to Arabic or Islamic-sounding names, regardless of the person's actual background or politics, has been documented in both election booth behavior and political rally environments. Conflation of identity over reality. Amir Hassan is a Black U.S. Navy veteran, former federal agent, and Christian convert. Yet, low-information primary voters operating in a media ecosystem saturated with anti-Islamic and nativist rhetoric did not look past his name. They evaluated the name Amir Hassan through a preconditioned lens that associates non-Western or Arabic names with anti-American.
No, I think it's because of Hassan Piker. There's been a lot of attack on Hassan Piker. And then there's the Sateo guy. His name is Hassan. So Hassan in itself has been branded onto the minds. You also have to look at the education level. The GOP voter have a very low education. Most of them have like only a third grade education. Also, the way that Trump deals with them, repeating over and over and over, the way, Fox News, in a way they're brainwashed into thinking this way. So like you said, they don't really, they can't really store any true information. They don't care about policy. They just care about, in a way, the Trump brand. But in this case here, because they were overwhelmed by the name Hassan, right? They went with the Tom Snyder. Oh, Tom Snyder sounds like a good guy. Who wouldn't like Tom Snyder? Mm-mm.
Duration of high-profile political figures
I
named
made it.
Hassan, such as progressive commentator Hassan Piker or journalist Mehdi Hassan, has made the name a frequent target within right-wing media ecosystems, reinforcing its association with opposition politics among conservative voters.
Mhm.
1. The media branding effect. In modern political media, specific names become shorthand for broader political ideologies. Figures like Hassan Piker, who commands a massive online audience, are routinely featured in conservative media
It's
clips as
Piker.
prime examples of the left. When low-information primary voters enter a booth and see Amir Hassan, they do not necessarily distinguish between a progressive streamer, a media figure, or a conservative Republican Navy veteran running in their district. The name itself functions as a brand trigger that evokes negative associations built up through hours of media consumption, overriding the candidate's actual background and platform. 2. Demographic realities versus voter heuristics. While the idea that voters have a third-grade education is an exaggeration, the demographic reality of Michigan's 8th Congressional District, covering working-class automotive hubs like Flint, Saginaw, and Bay City, points to a well-documented educational divide in modern American politics. The non-college degree divide. The district contains a high concentration of voters without a four-year college degree. In political science, non-college voters are significantly less likely to read formal candidate voter guides or research down-ballot primary races in detail. In low-information local races, voters rely on cognitive shortcuts, heuristics, rather than policy position papers. A voter who hasn't researched the primary relies almost entirely on name recognition, cultural familiarity, and negative brand associations.
It's breaded pork.
3. The appeal of Tom Smith. The winning candidate's name was Tom Smith, rather than Tom Snyder.
Tom
In
Smith.
the context of political heuristics, Tom Smith represents the ultimate default option. It is an Anglo-Saxon name that conveys local familiarity and zero cultural friction. For a voter suspicious of non-traditional names or confused by competing primary ads, Tom Smith feels like a safe, standard conservative choice.
Yeah.
When faced with a ballot containing a name heavily stigmatized by right-wing media, Hassan, and a name that sounds entirely conventional, Smith, thousands of primary voters defaulted to Smith, even though he had suspended his campaign weeks earlier and spent under $2,000. Want to look into how the college/non-college educational divide reshaped
Hassan Amir. Consolation speech. Consolation speech. Has Amir Hassan made any talks? Has he been interviewed by anyone? Can you search for any content? Dork into it, search all the different media. Did he make a consolation speech on the election night? Is there any video? I want you to find it. It's pork, breaded pork. I made breaded pork.
Following the election on August 4th, 2026, Amir Hassan did not hold a formal televised press conference, but he did release a video statement on his official social media accounts, X, Twitter, and Facebook, in the early hours of Wednesday morning to concede the race and address his supporters. 1. The concession video, X and Facebook. In the video posted to his X, @HassanForMe, and Facebook pages shortly after the race was called for Thomas Smith, Hassan addressed the loss directly without criticizing the voters or blaming party leadership. Key quote, "It was a tough race, but over the last year I've had some incredible dealings with people across the entire district. The biggest conservative value is that we don't make excuses." Reflections on faith. In a written message accompanying his video post, Hassan noted that he was placing his faith in God following the unexpected loss. "I know God has something greater in store for me, even if I can't see it right now, and
He blames it on God. What a loser. He blames it on God. God manipulated the Trump supporter to vote for Tom Smith, right? Oh my God, that's too funny. Oh, God has a greater plan for me. No, son, you were black and your bigoted, racist agenda MAGA supporters saw you as that. They didn't want a black Amir Hassan, right? in office. They're racist. They're bigots. And you're going to try to, it was a close race. You lost by 17 points. It's ridiculous.
Stand. Sign off. He concluded his post on X with asterisk. The fight has just begun. Service never stops. 2. Campaign trail and rally videos leading up to the primary. Prior to election night, Hassan was featured in several high-profile campaign videos and rally clips alongside national figures. On stage with Donald Trump, July 27, 2026. Just 1 week before the primary, Trump invited Hassan on stage during a major rally at the General Motors Proving Ground in Milford, Michigan. In video clips from the event, Hassan told the crowd that working-class voters were putting this country back on the map.
It didn't matter that just a week before, right? It didn't matter, Wonder Boy, that even a week before the black guy with the Muslim name was on stage with Trump, and Trump is saying, this is my man, right? That you guys are so fucking dumb that you voted for Tom Smith in Michigan. See, that's what's going to happen in this upcoming midterms. You motherfuckers are so goddamn dumb that you just have no idea who to vote for. You're just dumb fucks. Right? You're just dumb fucks, Wonder Boy. You're just fucking dumb fucks. This proves that MAGA are dumb fucks. MAGA dumb fucks.
Direct faith declarations in campaign ads. Across his digital campaign videos, Hassan repeatedly featured clips of himself discussing his Christian faith, his family, his grandfather's work at General Motors in Flint, and his time serving in the U.S. Navy at Guantanamo Bay. A deliberate effort by his media team to establish his Christian and patriotic credentials to counter online attacks regarding his name. 3. Media coverage of Hassan's reaction. While Hassan posted his self-produced concession video, news outlets across Michigan and nationally reported on his post-election response. Mars News and the Detroit News highlighted Hassan's statement that conservatives don't make excuses as a stark contrast to typical political finger-pointing after a major upset. National outlets, Notice, Mother Jones, The Guardian, noted that while Hassan conceded graciously, the Republican National Committee, RNC, and state GOP officials quickly pivoted away from discussing Hassan, issuing standard congratulations to Thomas Smith to move toward general election prep against Democratic Representative Kristen McDonald-Ribbett.
He lost. The thing is, if Tom Smith would have won by like a point or two, they would have argued, they would have wanted coat. And see, this is a prime example, right? Tom Smith beat the fuck out of Amir Hassan, right? Beat the shit out of him. 17 points. And that's what we have to do in this upcoming elections on November 3rd. We have to beat the shit out of these fake fuck Christians, pedo-loving, Nazi, bigoted racists. We have to beat the fuck out of them, right? And this is a prime example. Then they concede nice, right? If you don't beat the fuck out of them, then they're gonna like whine and cheat and call for stuff. And I think this is just a sign. This is a sign from God, right? If you, I'm not religious, but isn't this a sign, all you fake fuck Christians? Isn't this a sign from God? Who God influenced all your voters and got them to not vote for Amir Hassan, and God took your hands and made you vote for Tom Snyder. Even though fucking Tom Snyder is at the bottom of the list. Tommy. He's at the bottom of the list, right? Amir Hassan was at the first. He was at the very first. And God made you just pass by, and you voted for the guy at the bottom. You're like, The first answer is always wrong, right? The first answer is always wrong. If you do any multiple choice questions, first answer is always wrong. And he was the first answer. It's always wrong. God, you gotta love. Oh God in Michigan, righteous God. Oh my God, let's go. What time are we leaving, Tommy? All right, 10 minutes. I'm in the car. Let's get in the car. I'm ready to go. Tommy's got to go to work. We got to take Tommy. Let's take the show on the road. Huh? University. Oh, university. All right, let's go. University. Oh, let's go. Oh, Mama found Mikey's jacket, by the way. It was in the closet. The one right by my room. He looked in there but didn't say. She found it. Mama is amazing. She always finds fucking everything. Mikey lost his really expensive jacket and had me driving all over the fucking damn place to try to find it. And Mama found it. All right. I don't know, dude. That is the $1 million question. God, no, but God is on our side. I mean, the whole election in Michigan proves that God is on our side. God is on our side, folks. If you're religious. Woo! God damn, it's hot. God damn, it's hot. Let's see, 27%. Let's plug this in here. No, I mean, obviously it was an act of God. Come on, guys. Come on, MAGA. It was an act of God. God didn't want you voting for Amir Hassan. But God doesn't want you voting for anyone endorsed by Trump. If they're endorsed by Trump, don't vote for them. All right? God hates Trump. Trump is the literal Antichrist. So obviously, Trump, right? God is going to steer your hand past number one, Amir Hassan, down to the very bottom of the list, Tom Smith. Oh, Tom Smith. 74-year-old engineer, right? Oh my God. Oops, took that off. Okay. I haven't checked. Let's see. I haven't checked something. Let's check something real quick. Robin Hood. Hold on, I'm not connected. I'm not connected, folks. Robin Hood, SpaceX. What did SpaceX get to? SpaceX is what SpaceX? Well, it went up. It's going sideways. Let's see, 1 week. Well, it got to a 125. It went all the way down. It's been going sideways. SpaceX is going sideways. 114. It went all the way down to 106. SpaceX. Understand, let me just show you this real quick. This is the amount of shares of SpaceX that's hitting the market, right? 5 billion shares are unlocked this year. 5 billion. We're here right here. All these shares are getting unlocked. All right. So you were going to see SpaceX tank. All right. It's going sideways because what's happening is there is sell pressure and there's buy pressure. Elon doesn't want the stock tanking. So he's probably, there's a lot of bulls trying to keep the stock, because if the stock dips under $100, that is fucking crisis, right? There's a support line. I think the support line is 108, right? The support line is 108, right? So if it closes below 108, like 107, 106, that's bad news. So they're definitely trying to, the bulls are trying to keep it above the 108. I know. It has to be. It has to be it really does. I mean, if you look at that, how can it not be an act of God? How can it be someone who withdraws from the race? Come on, guys, because you don't believe in science. You don't believe in anything. A guy withdraws from the race, says vote for another guy, not Hassan, right? He goes, don't vote for Hassan. He didn't. I mean, the guy's obviously racist. he saw a black guy called Hassan. He's a bigoted racist. Tom Smith is a bigoted racist. Don't vote for that black guy. He's an N. All right? We don't need no black guy. I don't like them black guys. Don't vote for him, said Tom Side. Go vote for this other person. I would draw from the race. And Almighty God goes, oh no. You, Tom Smith, you are the chosen one. And had 17% of the vote voted for him. It doesn't make sense. I mean, you know, he only spent $1,800 to $700,000. And he won. Can you explain it to me? Can any of you MAGAs explain it to me? Why did Tom Smith win? Why did Tom Smith win? He withdrew from the race, folks. He withdrew. He said, don't vote for me. Had no money. He makes a good goddamn salsa. He makes salsa. He sells salsa part-time at the farmer's market. Salsa Tom. They call him Salsa Tom. I know. No, I think it's 10-1, isn't it? 10-1 voting, Puddle? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, his on that. Come on, MAGA, can you explain to me how did Tom Smith win? Can any of you explain it to me? Come on, guys. Any of you explain it? Come on, MAGA, explain it to me. Why does God hate you? Why does God hate the person that Trump endorses? Why is that? Why does God turn against you? Right? Are you starting to wake up? You fake fuck Christians? Because you're a fake fuck Christian, God is punishing you. Tommy Smith, right? Anointed by God. MAGA are racist and bigot. Tommy Smith said, don't vote. Right? I mean, MAGA are un-American. Listen, to be an American, you have to believe in the Constitution. Type 1, if you agree with that. Type 1. As an American, the core founding artifact for being an American is the Constitution. You got to believe in the Constitution. Really do. Right? It's the Constitution. Trump has signed another executive order attacking the Constitution. Trump is attacking the U.S. Constitution. How can you support anyone attacking the U.S. Constitution? You understand? If you attack one part of the Constitution, you attack all of it. You understand that? The moment you say, oh, this part of the Constitution, no, we don't want that part. Okay? That's basically saying all of it's fair game. Then you're saying that a Democrat can come in and say, you know what, Second Amendment, we don't want that. Do you agree with that? Do you think if you believe that you can attack any part of the Constitution saying, no, that's not part of the American, do you believe in that? Yes, right, or no? Okay. If you understand that, if you attack one part of the Constitution, it's like all of a sudden the Democrats come in and say, you know what? We don't want Second Amendment. We want to get away with the Second Amendment. Do you agree with that? Do you think Democrats come in and sign an executive order saying, you know what? The Second Amendment? No, unconstitutional Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, if you read it, was a well-regulated militia. The topic of the Second Amendment is the militia. Right? A well-regulated militia. That is the topic. The part saying every citizen has a right to arms is an antecedent to the topic. It's an addition. It's saying a well-regulated militia made up of citizens of the states have a right to bear arms. You understand that? What it's saying is that back then, our National Guard was a freestanding. So it was saying that, oh, you can't take away the guns from the people because the people ultimately form the militia. So if you're in the militia, then you have the right to bear arms. If you're in the militia. So a Democrat could come in and say, executive order, that the Constitution is about a well-regulated militia, AKA or EG, the National Guard. If you're in the National Guard, you can bear arms. If you're not in the National Guard, I'm sorry, You got to get a little hunting license, like a fishing license, to own a hunting rifle. But you cannot own any military weapons if you are not in the National Guard. Does that make sense? And all they're using muskets too. Well, I think a hunting rifle's fine. Like bolt action, you can have a bolt action, right? We'll upgrade you from a musket. We'll upgrade you from a fucking musket. But do you understand that? Do you think it's okay for the Democrats to attack the Second Amendment? Type 1, if you agree that the Democrats should be able to repeal the Second Amendment. Type 1, if you agree with that. Right? Right? I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't think if you want to repeal the Second Amendment, then you have to make a constitutional change. I believe that. I believe in the Constitution. To change the Second Amendment, you can't use an executive order. You have to change the Constitution if you want to change it. All right? If you want to change it, you have to change the Constitution. So you understand then when Trump is attacking the 14th Amendment, saying birthright citizenship isn't a thing, that people coming in and having babies here should. I agree in principle, even though the irony is the guy during the World Cup was such a baby, right? His mother's from Nigeria. They moved to London, right? And then she went to New York to have the baby. So the guy has a Nigerian, a British, and an American passport. I think that's bullshit. I don't think you should be able to have 3 passports. I think you should only have 1 passport, okay? And you need to be able to say, if Nigeria, England, and America go to war, which country are you going to serve on? Which country do you want to protect? I believe that you should only have 1 country, right? That's what I believe. Japan has that policy. Japan doesn't allow their citizens to hold other passports for this very reason. If you want to hold the other passport, you lose your Japanese citizenship, right? That's how Japan is. Yeah. It's a comma, right? It's an antecedent. I don't know if it's an antecedent. I can't remember English, but it's an antecedent. It's a sentence. There's no period in there, Valera. If you read the Second Amendment, right? If you read the Second Amendment, there is no period. It's 1 sentence. So the part that is in commas can be removed, right? You can remove that whole part that talks about citizenships. Does that make sense? It does. I mean, the whole Constitution is outdated. The whole Constitution needs updated. Look at this woman telling spraying. Is she going to kill those plants? Well, spraying all that chemical. Whoa, there's a guy. You see, you should be on a bike like that. Look at that cool bike. A little bike. Should be on an electric bike.
But you said don't ride a bike.
Huh?
You said don't ride.
Your mother. I don't mind you riding a bike. I mean, even though I fucking bike wrecked into me, you just got to just assume everyone's going to hate you. But I'm probably going to get a scooter.
Scooter.
Yeah, electric scooter. I don't want a bike. That's a scooter. That was a scooter there. That was a scooter.
That's a motorcycle.
No, that was a scooter. That was a scooter. That was like a 50cc. Yes. And that's why, because it starts off a well-regulated militia. It starts off. That's the subject matter of the article, right? The subject of the article is a well-regulated militia, not the people of a state, okay? Otherwise, it would be a completely separate sentence that starts off the people of the state. Within the well-regulated militia, it's defining what makes up the well-regulated militia, which are the people of the state. Right? So in essence, and this is the way it had always been interpreted, that, you know, until 1970, the Supreme Court interpreted it always to mean this, right? God damn, my phone is so hot. I'm gonna have to put you over here. That phone's too hot. Too hot. All right. I'll put you here on the phone. I gotta chill. I got you in front of the air conditioning, so cooling it off. Phone's about to overheat. It gets so hot on the dashboard with that. I should have made peppers. Let's see. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Let it cool down. Let me cool my phone down a little bit. Just a few minutes of phone. See that cumulus nimbus over there building up? Big thunderstorm. Trying to build up. All right, maybe it's cooled down. Yeah, it's cooled down. Front of that phone is hot though. All right. Let's see here what's going on.
El Sayed winning the Michigan U.S. Democratic primary race against state Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Let me get out to News Nation's Joe Khalil, who's live for us in Detroit this morning. Joe, this just coming in moments ago. What are you hearing?
Yeah, so we have now called the race as Decision Desk HQ has made the decision that Abdul Al-Sayed is going to ultimately win this contest.
All right. Hey, here's a Dear MAGA. Here's some Dear MAGA shit.
As Americans, I believe that we agree more than we disagree. Hey everybody, Richard, leavingmaga.org.
Leavingmaga.org.
One of the steps to leaving MAGA is to build up democracy rather than tear it down by making the continued case that we as a people agree more than we disagree on important issues, and that we are more alike than we are unalike.
Exactly.
And I want to make a plea to both those in MAGA and those who are not in MAGA.
Yeah.
If we were to get a pro-MAGA and anti-MAGA person together and they had a lengthy enough conversation, they would discover that they actually agree on more relevant issues than they disagree. And if we can get
like for example, why does Israel get free education and free Medicare for all their people? Why? Because we pay for it for them. Why shouldn't every state, type 1, if you think every state should have free K through, K through 12 or K through, university, education, right? And Medicare for all, where you pay like in Japan, you pay based on your income level, and everyone has access to healthcare in Japan, right? Why are we paying it? Why is our money going to fueling states that are in forever wars, that have been where the leader has been condemned as a war criminal? Netanyahu, Israeli leadership, the head of Israel, is a war criminal. Why are we not part of the international war court, whatever it is? Why don't we recognize them? Why are we, it's just like we need to all come together. And we need to stop having, foreign interests like Israel paying off corporations to buy, like, look at Twitter now. You can't do shit. You can't talk about Zionists on not Twitter, but Instagram, not Instagram. What's the other one? TikTok. You know, it's insane. What's the ICC? Yeah, the International Criminal Court. Yeah. Yeah, we should support the ICC, not take it down. We should be held accountable. Right?
Is trust funds going to be exhausted a year earlier than predicted? A lot of that's thanks to the billionaires bill that the Republicans jammed through. It hits in 2032, just 6 years from now. Where are Democrats? We've been pretty out there. We've got bills. You can look at them, kick the tires, take your pot shots. We have legislation that will make Social Security solvent for as far as the actuarial eye can see without cutting benefits. Where's the Republican proposal?
Doesn't happen.
Where is it? It doesn't exist. They want to go to a back room and get wheeler deals done that allow for benefit cuts and things like that they don't want to own, so they don't want to put it out there. That's where we are. The first thing that we should see is if Republicans want to solve Social Security, put your plan on the table. Why hide it?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Put it out there. We've done that.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be hard.
They're the billionaire class. They're the Epstein class. I don't know if you guys realize. Do you guys realize that? What's her name? Where is she? Katie Fang. All right. You guys listen to Katie Fang at all? Here's some big news from Katie Fang.
100%. He wants the court to stay all of the filing deadlines nunc-pro-tunc, meaning any and all deadlines that he's blown. He wants them to be rewound by the hands of time back to when he blew those deadlines, and he wants them all paused. He wants to stay. He wants to set a schedule requiring him to answer or otherwise respond within 60 days after resolution of my pending motion for preliminary injunction.
I love her.
These people operate on a different level. There is no, quote, pending motion for preliminary injunction. It was filed, it was argued, it was briefed, and it was ruled on by the judge, and it's done. Blanche's continued non-compliance with the preliminary injunction is a whole other cup of tea. But these people are whacked. Like, I don't even know how they even practice law. So they say, briefing on the motion for preliminary injunction is now complete and the matter is before the court for decision. What? It's like, they also want to think that you, as the American people, are too stupid to understand what's happening here. You all have been along for this journey. I have taken you with me every single damn step.
Yeah.
And you know that order granting preliminary injunction was done back in June. Well, just moments ago, decision.
Hold on, I wanted to get Katie.
Well,
let's get all her shorts. Let's listen to all her shorts. All right.
To reality is Todd Blanche and the Trump DOJ. 100%. He wants the court to stay all of the filing deadlines nunc-pro-tunc, meaning any and all deadlines that he's blown. He wants them.
ICC is the International Criminal Court. It's the court that says Bibi Netanyahu is a criminal. It's the court that could potentially rule that Trump is a criminal. I think that's the International Criminal Court. Is that the ICC? Yeah.
He rewound by the hands of time back to when he blew those deadlines, and he wants them all paused.
There you go.
He wants to stay. He wants to set a schedule requiring him to answer or otherwise respond within 60 days after resolution of my pending motion for preliminary injunction. These people operate on a different planet. There is no, quote, pending motion for preliminary injunction. It was filed, it was argued, it was briefed, and it was ruled on by the judge, and it's done. Blanche's continued non-compliance with the preliminary injunction is a whole other cup of tea. But these people are whacked. Like, I don't even know how they even practice law. So they say, briefing on the motion for preliminary injunction is now complete, and the matter is before the court for decision. What? It's like, they also want to think that you, as the American people, are too stupid to understand what's happening here. You all have been along for this journey. I have taken you with me every single damn step. And you know that order granting preliminary injunction was done back in June, and that we've been waiting for the production of these documents that were a part of the preliminary injunction being granted. They want to say that my threatened action is untethered from both the facts and the law. You want to talk about untethered? Blanche was laying in wait for our motion to compel answer because within minutes of us filing it yesterday, they filed this. Defendant's motion to stay all filing deadlines, nunc pro tunc, pending resolution of the motion for preliminary injunction and motion to set briefing schedule. Now, let's talk about what nunc pro tunc means. Well, maybe we'll talk about it in the context of this motion. Instead of responding in opposition to our motion to compel answer and for other relief, they filed their own motion, as in Blanche filed his own motion. And at the very beginning of this motion, you will see, pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 6, subsection B. If you go and you look on your screen right now, what is that? That is the rule that governs extensions of time. We're going to stop right now. Because what do you need an extension of time for if you believe, as these government lawyers have been trying to gaslight it into thinking, if you believe that you never had to respond yet because the motion for preliminary injunction had not been resolved, why are you citing to the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure that deals with extensions of time or arguments of time?
Uh-oh.
That in and of itself, folks, is an admission by Blanche. And then when you add on the Latin nunc pro tunc, what that means in the context of the law is they want to wind up
picking up the magazine and reading it
when it would have been due, which is June 29th, and they're asking the court to basically spot that the default period of time, which has been months now, right? A month and some change.
So fell off a truck.
They want the judge to agree that they not only blew the deadline at the end of June, but that the judge should give them an additional 60 days, not even from now, from, quote, the completion of this litigation.
What time do you have to be at school?
Which has already been done and over with June 15th. And the nunc pro tunc is an admission again that Blanche fucked up and that he didn't file.
You want to go back and clean it up?
This entire filing by the government is an admission that they screwed up. And there's more within it that I want to get into. Blanche, so we have breaking news. This order just entered by Judge Solomon in my lawsuit against Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche to get the unredacted Epstein files turned over so that transparency can be achieved.
Yay! Teddy Bang!
Law, Epstein files transparency Act. But this order, let me tell you something. The court is basically telling Todd Blanche, you're trying my patience. The court acknowledges at the beginning that it has received Blanche's responses to his, as in Judge Sullivan's orders from June 25th, July 25th, and the court has conducted his in-camera review of the documents that Blanche submitted. He's ordering a status hearing at 1 p.m. Eastern on August 13th in D.C. He's then telling Todd Blanche, you never provided the documentation you were ordered to do so in my order dated July 25th. Rather, you just asserted that certain redacted text contains the identities of victims or potential victims whose counsel had contacted the government and requested that the persons be treated as victims. The defendant's assertions do not comply with the court's order, which required documentation to support Blanche's assertions. You got to come to court, Blanche, and be prepared to discuss what documentation you will provide to support your assertions. In other words, I told you to bring proof. You had to show your work. You didn't bring it. In fact, all you did was say, hey,
that little clown.
Number two.
All right, this is all right, let's see here. Where is shorts, likes. That's fine.
Epstein files bullshit. Epstein files bombshell. Judge summons Trump's AG to court over hidden FBI notes. This is not a rumor. This is not a headline that somebody wrote. This is a federal courtroom, Washington, D.C. Case number on the docket. Katie Fang filed the lawsuit back in April. Put her name in the pocket. She said that the DOJ ain't following the law that Congress passed. The Epstein Files Transparency Act. Signed, sealed, built to last. December 19th was the deadline. That's when the files were due. But redactions kept on coming. And the public never knew. Judge Sullivan said, don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24. Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ won't say. Yeah. June 25th, preliminary injunction came down. Judge said Fang got the right to sue, said her case is sound. Half a dozen stories she couldn't report, that's what she stated in the pilot. The judge agreed the harm was real, no more DOJ stalling. July 25th, another order. 10 documents demanded in camera review, no black boxes, straight and unredacted. Blanche had till the 30th, 3 p.m. to hand it over. DOJ said they complied, said the review was over. Judge Sullivan said, don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24. Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ won't say. Hey. But August 6th came around, and the judge looked at what they said the documents don't back the claim, said this ain't what compliance meant. Within an hour, new order dropped, no waiting for tomorrow. Sullivan wasn't playing games, wasn't lending out his sorrow. He said, show me fine, these redacted names of victims, not just words. Show me the FBI notes, the handwritten words, let the record be heard. Those FB 302s connected to allegations involving the president. He said, substantially similar. Judge said that's not what the statute meant. Judge Sullivan said, prove it. Don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24. Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ won't say. The redaction law required by the act still hasn't been published. DOJ missed the deadline to answer the complaint that got them anguished. Janine Pyro filed the extension 1 day before the order came. Sullivan wasn't buying stories, wasn't playing the same game. This ain't about one party, it's about a law that Congress made. Bipartisan bill signed by the president, promises that gotta be paid. Survivors waiting for the truth, waiting since Epstein first made headlines. Starting watching for the names standing at the rally lines. 3 million pages already released. 3,000 volumes on the wall, but the files connected to power. Those the hardest ones of all. Epstein files bombshell. Judge Thomas Trump's AG.
I like it loud. Yeah. I'm jamming, Tom. Oh, it's because my head's.
It's on my headset. T. Let's restart it. My bad. I got my headset on. It has voice reduction. So let's do it again. Now listen. I have I have a noise reduction on my headset. So if any time the sound sounds like shit, that's because of my headset, okay?
Epstein files bombshell. Judge summons Trump's AG to court over hidden FBI notes.
See, is that better now? Is it better now? Once I drop Tommy off, we'll crank it up.
Washington, D.C.
There's other noise now? What do you mean, what other noise?
Put her name in the pocket. She said the DOJ ain't following the law that Congress passed. The Epstein Files Transparency Act. Signed, sealed, built to last. December 19th was the deadline. That's when the files were due.
Oh, I got my fan hit my phone. My bad. The fan is blowing up on the phone. There you go. That should be better now.
Never knew. Judge Sullivan said, prove it. Don't just tell me it's true.
How about now? I moved the fan down.
Show me who these names belong to.
It should be gone now. I moved the fan down.
13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24. Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ wants.
Enjoy the song. It's a really good song.
Yeah. June 25th, preliminary injunction came down. Judge said Fang got the right to sue, said her case is sound. Half a dozen stories she couldn't report, that's what she stated in the filing. The judge agreed the harm was real, no more DOJ stalling. July 25th, another order. 10 documents demanded in camera review, no black boxes, straight and unredacted. Blanche had till the 30th, 3 p.m. to hand it over. DOJ said they complied. Said the review was over. Judge Sullivan said, prove it. Oh, don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24. Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ won't say. But August 6th came around.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. So this is an Iran Lego video, okay? This is on Iran Lego News, okay? Go to Iran Lego News, all right? And this is hilarious. So it has a video. And then it has Africa, and in Africa it has Washington, D.C. You know how recently we fucked up the map, right? And we had the wrong locations in Africa? And in the Lego movie, I just caught it, had a picture of Africa as America, so all the states are in Africa. And then it has Washington, D.C., and, you know... New York on the video. Oh my God, that is so fucking clever. Oh, they're trolling the fact. If you want to go watch it, it's a really good video, but it's on Iran Lego News. Just type it in here, at Iran Lego News. Do a comment, at move to Japan or something, or brought us. If you're following the channel, put so let them know that if you're going over there, let them know that you came from Move to Japan, at Move to Japan, sent us here, listening to it live. Listening live on Move to Japan. Remember, Move to Japan, one word on that. But that is so funny. I look down and I see like Washington, D.C., New York, and it's on Africa, on the continent, and all this. And I was like, what's it doing? And then I realized, and it clicked on they were trolling. Look at that shit, Tommy. Look at that shit. Unbelievable. Just trash on the side of the road.
What compliance meant within the hour, new order dropped, no waiting for tomorrow. Sullivan wasn't playing games, wasn't lending out his sorrow. He said, show me why he's redacting names of victims, not just word. Show me the FBI notes, the handwritten ones. Let the record be heard. Those FD 302s connected to allegations involving the president.
Yeah, a lot less.
Substantially similar.
Yeah, the big thing I want to do, there's no flock cameras in Japan. There's no flock, right? If you're, America now is becoming Big Brother, flock. There's no flock. In Japan, they can't videotape you, right? They can't videotape other people, right? So I think it would be illegal for them to have flock here. So if you want a country without flock, Japan. I haven't done any videos on it. I was going to do that flock, flock-free Japan or something. I got to do a video on that. Yeah. The only thing is, Japan has all the power lines, which is ugly, but apart from that.
What the statue meant. Judge Sullivan said prove it. Don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock.
I love it that Iran made a video about Katie Fang. That's really cool that they made a specialized video just on Katie Fang, right? Iran Lego News. It may not be Iran. It may not be their official channel. Who knows? But someone did. They did a good job.
Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ won't say. The redaction log required by the act still hasn't been published. DOJ missed the deadline to answer the complaint that got them anguished. Janine Pyro filed the extension one day before the order came. Sullivan wasn't buying stories, wasn't playing that same game. This ain't about one party, it's about a law that Congress made. Bipartisan bills signed by the president, promises that gotta be paid. Survivors waiting for the truth, waiting since Epstein first made headlines. Charlene Rochard, other names, standing at the rally lines. 3 million pages already released. 3,000 volumes on a wall, but the files connected to power, those the hardest ones of all. Epstein files bombshell, judge summons Trump's AG to court over hidden FBI notes. This the kind of story that reminds you why the system still gotta hold its oaths. A judge who said, show me the paper, not just take your word as gospel. A journalist who filed the suit and kept the story moving, kept it hopeful. August 13th on the calendar, everybody watching, everybody waiting. Will the files come out in full or will the stall and keep debating? This the story of accountability playing out in real time. Not a headline, not a rumor, but a case moving.
Am I picking up tonight?
Judge Sullivan said prove it.
Let me know.
Don't just tell me it's true.
I have to check my calendar. I may be
Show me
busy.
the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock. Courtroom 24. The whole country's watching now, watching what the DOJ will say. Let's go back further. Let's go back to how this all began. November 19th, the act got signed, put a deadline in the plan. Congress said the files gotta open, so the public has a right. Sitting folders, sitting quiet, kept away from the light.
I don't know why you don't want ice in there, like a big thing of ice.
January 30th, first tranche release, blank stood
What do you
at
mean
the
it's hard to drink?
podium.
Just the middle, ice in the middle?
Said any
Not
member
bad.
of Congress could review it. Said come on
I don't
down
like it
and
too
study
cold
it.
because I got
Next day, Jamie Raskin wrote a letter. Said we're taking you up on that offer. Judiciary Committee wanted access.
Yeah.
Wanted to open up the coffer, but requests kept getting slower. Access kept getting delayed. That's the pattern this whole case been built on. That's the pattern that's been laid. April 27th, Fang filed suit. Said the AG broke the statute. Said the withholding and redacting wasn't what the law was
These guys, what do
about.
they play?
Said she wanted a special master, somebody to oversee
What are those?
it all.
Oh, skateboarding? What is
Somebody
that? Boxing?
independent
Wrestling?
watching.
ice hockey.
Huh?
So the DOJ
Oh,
don't
ice
stop.
hockey?
May 28th, she moved
Yeah, ice
for
hockey
an
here?
injunction. Wanted the court to step in. Said the harm was happening now. Said
But you're gonna go all the way down to certain island practice, so I didn't join.
What that shit?
Said this ain't something for your covers. This a different kind of demand. Judge Sullivan said, prove it. Don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24A. Todd Blanche gotta stand up and explain what the DOJ won't say. Yeah. July 15th, Blanche sat before the Senate. Confirmation hearing day said the DOJ ain't got proof Epstein trafficked women other ways. 10 days later, Sullivan said prove that too. Said hand over the paper. Said let me read it for myself. Don't just give me your own take on it later. The files went behind closed doors for the judge's eyes alone. Reading room installed with volumes. 3 million pages shown. Name for both men. Trump and Epstein hanging on the walls. A record built by the Institute for Primary Facts. Standing tall. Now it's August, deadline missed. Complaint left unanswered. DOJ asked for extra time 1 day before the order landed. Sullivan didn't wait around, didn't let the silence linger. Said show the proof or show up August 13th. Pointed out his finger. The story's still unfolding, still moving through the docket. Every order building on the last one, every deadline in the pocket. Epstein files, bombshell, George summons Trump's AG to court over him. FBI notes, that's the headline, that's the history, that's the story as it's wrote. Judge Sullivan said prove it. Don't just tell me it's true. Show me the documentation. Show me who these names belong to. August 13th, 1 o'clock, courtroom 24A. The whole country's watching now, watching what the DOJ will say.
That's good. That is Lego. That's Lego. That's Iran Lego News. Iran Lego News. If you want to watch the whole video, good job. And I think it's kind of cool that Katie Fang is, you know, they're doing, they're making videos about Katie Fang because she is doing amazing work. You know, that's important.
Breaking news, this order just
Fang.
entered by Judge Sullivan. Blanche was laying in wait for our motion to compel answer because within minutes of us filing it yesterday, they filed this. Defendant's motion to stay all filing deadlines, nunc pro tunc, pending resolution of the motion for preliminary injunction and motion to set briefing schedule. Now, let's talk about what nunc pro tunc means. Well, maybe we'll talk about it in the context of this motion. Instead of responding in opposition to our motion to compel answer and for other relief, they filed their own motion, as in Blanche filed his own motion. And at the very beginning of this motion, you will see, pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 6 subsection B. If you go and you look on your screen right now, what is that? That is the rule that governs extensions of time. We're going to stop right now. Because what do you need an extension of time for if you believe, as these government lawyers have been trying to gaslight it into thinking, if you believe that you never had to respond yet.
No, yeah.
Because the motion for preliminary injunction had not been resolved. Why are you citing to the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure that deals with extensions of time or enlargements of time?
Yeah, why?
That in and of itself, folks, is an admission by Blanche that he blew the deadline. And then when you add on the Latin nunc pro tunc, what that means in the context of the law is they want to wind the hands of time back to when it would have been due, which is June 29th, and they're asking the court to basically spot them the default period of time, which has been months now, right? A month and some change. They want the judge to agree that they not only blew the deadline at the end of June, but that the judge should give them an additional 60 days, not even from now, from, quote, the completion of this litigation on the preliminary injunction, which has already been done and over with June 15th. And the nunc pro tunc is an admission again that Blanche fucked up and that he didn't file it timely. This entire, look at this, no wires, zero, like untethered to reality is Todd Blanche and the Trump DOJ. 100%. He wants the court to stay all of the filing deadlines nunc pro tunc, meaning any and all deadlines that he's blown. He wants them to be rewound by the hands of time back to when he blew those deadlines, and he wants them all paused. He wants to stay. He wants to set a schedule requiring him to answer or otherwise respond within 60 days after resolution of my pending motion for preliminary injunction. These people operate on a different planet. There is no, quote, pending motion for preliminary injunction. It was filed, it was argued, it was briefed, and it was ruled on by the judge, and it's done. Blanche's continued non-compliance with the preliminary injunction is a whole other cup of tea. But these people are whacked. Like, I don't even know how they even practice law.
The more you grow.
Hey, there you go. Well, Alan Watts. Sadu Watts.
The more you grow, the less you want. Not less ambition, but less clutter, less noise, less distraction. The things that once seemed urgent, the possessions, the endless chasing, suddenly feel heavy, almost meaningless. You begin to crave simplicity, quiet mornings, gentle routines, moments that feed the soul, not the ego. And then you realize real wealth has nothing to do with what you hold. It's the peace you carry inside. The more you grow.
Let's see if he's got any more shorts.
Just breathe. Just breathe.
I thought he was gonna have Alan Watts shorts. I thought he was gonna do Alan Watts shorts, but nothing. Bunch of ocean shit. Alan Watts shorts. Listen to some Alan Watts.
If I...
Here you go.
See, this is the real secret of life. To be completely engaged with what you're doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize that this is play. In Hindu philosophy, the whole creation is regarded as the Vishnu Leela. That means the play of Vishnu. Leela means dance or play, and from it we get our word lilt. They also, in Hindu philosophy, call the world an illusion. And in Latin, the root of the word illusion is ludere, to play. Because all this going on, the swinging of the ball, the pattern in which the flower goes, is just to swing. And if you take it seriously and say, are you doing anything useful? Useful for what? Useful to go on. But if you take that attitude to going on becomes a drag. Survival becomes a sweat, and it's not worth it. And if you teach your children, and they'll imitate you, they'll treat survival as a sweat which they have to undergo They have to keep going on, and they'll teach their children to do it, and the whole continuation of the human race will be a drag, which is in fact what it's become because of this attitude, and this is the reason why we've invented the atomic bomb and are preparing to commit suicide. Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer who lost a horse, ran away, and all the neighbors came round that evening and said, "That's too bad." And he said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. And all the neighbors came around and said, "Why, that's great, isn't it?" And he said, "Maybe." The next day, his son was attempting to tame one of these horses and was riding it and was thrown and broke his leg. And all the neighbors came round in the evening and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" The farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the conscription officers came around looking for people for the army, and they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. And all the neighbors came round this evening and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" And he said, "Maybe." The whole process of nature is an integrated process of immense complexity, and it is really impossible to tell whether anything that happens in it is good or bad, because you never know what will be the consequences of the misfortune, or you never know what will be the consequences of good fortune.
Do you know this plant can grow almost anywhere?
Well, we say, one must live. It's necessary to survive. You know, you really must go on. It's your duty. It's your duty to your children. But you see, the thing I feel is if you bring up your children that way and tell them that they ought to be grateful to you because you're doing your duty towards them, they will learn to bring up their children in the same way, and everybody will be depressed. There really is no necessity to go on living. We think, you know, it's part of our Western philosophy, that we think we have a drive to survive, that we must go on living. Because some big daddy said to us, "You gotta go on living, see? And you better make it or else." Well, I've already explained to you on this show that the fear of death is completely absurd. Because if you're dead, you've got nothing to worry about. So you'll be all right. Why did they do it? The art of washing dishes is that you only have to wash one at a time. If you're doing it day after day, you have in your mind's eye an enormous stack of filthy dishes which you have washed up in years past, and an enormous stack of filthy dishes which you will wash up in years future. But if you bring in your mind to the state of reality, which is, as I've pointed out to you, only now, this is where we are. There is only now. You only have to wash one dish. It's the only dish you ever have to wash, this one. You ignore all the rest, because in reality, there is no past and there is no future. There is just now. So you wash this one. The art of washing dishes is that you only have to wash one at a time.
What is love, really? So often we confuse it with desire, with possession, with the anxious need to hold on. But if you look closely, love is recognition. It is the sudden, startling awareness that in another person you see yourself, and at the same time, they see themselves in you. This is why love feels so electric, so undeniable. For a moment, the boundary is softened. The illusion of separateness gives way, and you catch a glimpse of something whole. Now, this does not mean you and the other person are identical. You are still wonderfully different. But in the depth of love, you sense the same light through both of you. What is love?
The perfect man employs his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing, it refuses nothing, it receives but does not keep. And another poem says of wild geese flying over a lake. The wild geese do not intend to cast their reflection. and the water has no mind to retain their image. But to have no hang-up, that is to say, to be able to drift like a cloud and flow like water, seeing that all life is a magnificent illusion, a playing of energy, and there is absolutely nothing fundamentally to be afraid of.
Aristotle, when he... This is... People don't know who they are. They really don't.
What do you mean? I mean, I know my name, I know my age, I know where I live.
That's not you, though. If you ask the average person who they are, they'll give you their name. They'll say, I'm Bob Proctor, but I'm not. Bob and Proctor are two words. My parents give them to me. They're called names, but it's not me. It's my name. Then somebody will say, well, this is me, but this isn't me either. It's my body. Like, you never phone down here to the studio and say, body won't be in today. It's sick. Okay. You know, we don't say M hand or M leg. It's my hand, my leg, my body, my name. Who am I? Well, that's an interesting question. Mm-hmm. See, I think we live simultaneously on three planes of understanding. We're spiritual creatures, we have an intellect, and we live in physical bodies.
Okay.
But because we lack awareness or understanding of who we are, we're totally locked into a physical world, and we let things outside of us control us. 95% of the population are reacting to life. They're not real.
Neurogum and neuromeds. They left.
We get this strange feeling that we have never had, you see, in our lives, except occasionally by accident. Some people get a glimpse that we are no longer this poor little stranger and afraid in a world it never made, but that you are this universe, and you are creating it at every moment. We get this strange feeling.
Well, now, really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling. You see, we don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall.
The surrender.
Well, now, really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy.
Yeah, it's fall because when you're in love, you're surrendering yourself, right, to that other person. You're surrendering yourself to the universe.
Self-sabotage isn't random. It's a frequency problem. When you start to level up, when you stretch beyond your old identity, your nervous system panics, not because you're broken, but because growth feels unsafe to a body that's used to surviving, not thriving. So what happens? Your brain does not know the difference between the outside world event and what you're imagining in your mind. To the brain, it's exactly the same.
When you build the image of what you want, it puts you into the necessary vibration to attract what you have to attract.
That's the secret.
Understand how dams really work.
So therefore, this is the beginning of meditation. You don't know what you're supposed to do. What can you do? Well, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, you watch. You simply watch what's going on. Like, say, somebody plays music. You listen. And you just follow those sounds. And eventually, you understand the point of the music. The point cannot be explained in words, because music is not words. But after a while, in listening to any music, you will understand the point of it. And that point will be the music itself. So therefore, this is the beginning. Let's say you sit quite still, and you are simply observing what is happening. All the sounds outside, thoughts going on inside your head, chatter, chatter, chatter. Should have done this, sort of all this bilge going on. See, you just watch it. But then you say to yourself, but this is boring. Now, watch that too. What is it? What kind of a funny feeling is it that makes you say, but this is boring? Where is it? Where do you feel it?
I should be doing something else instead. What's that thing? What part of your body is it in? Is it in here? Is it in here? Is it in the soles of your feet? Where is it? Boring. The feeling of boredom can be very interesting if you try to look it up. So you simply watch. And everything going on without attempting to change it in any way, without...
There are two wolves. You told me this story my entire life, and now I'm telling you. There are two wolves, and they're always fighting. One is darkness and despair. The other is light and hope. Which wolf wins? Okay, fine. Don't answer.
Whichever one you feed.
Good.
So, the whole idea of our being driven is connected with the idea of causality, of life moving under the power of the past.
This is a disaster. For as a result of confusing the real world of nature with mere signs, such as bank balances and contracts, we are destroying nature. We are so tied up in our minds that we've lost our senses. Time to wake up.
Which way? Time is a very difficult thing to pin down. There's a famous saying of St. Augustine of Hippo, that when he was asked, what is time?
I'm headed home. I dropped Tommy off of uni, so now I'm headed home. It's rush hours, so that's why there's so much goddamn cars. It's really hot. Listening to little Alan Watts. I haven't listened to Alan Watts in a while, so I'm just flicking through shorts, listening to Alan. All right, on there. Trying to think, taking a break. Alan Watts is tremendous. If you have problems sleeping, you want to try listening to Alan Watts. There's many long, like 4 or 5 hour videos of him. Turn him down so you can barely hear him. Usually, like, I sleep, and what I do is if my head's on this pillow, I put my speaker like this, my head's like that, right? If I'm sleeping on this side, I go like that, right? So I'm just listening here, and I can hear it here too, right? So the cool thing about these headset is that you can sleep with them, right? I pretty much wear these all the time on there. I had to go get him. He's gonna call me. Maybe he'll hang out with his friends. So I don't know. He'll call me. That's part of Uber. I'm Uber Dad. Uber Dad. W-A-T-T-S. Watts. Alan Watts. W-A-T-T-S. Watts. He's the guy. A little bit about Alan Watts. He's the person who brought Buddhism to the Western world. Alan Watts is a phenomenal force. Alan Watts was a British guy who was a priest who then became a Buddhist. He's a theologian specialized in studying religion. Do you know Joseph Campbell? You know Joseph Campbell? He's kind of like a Joseph Campbell, but for spirituality. Alan Watts is formative in the creation of my metaphysics, right? The foundation of my metaphysics is built on Alan Watts' teachings. Yeah, I don't like Eckhart Tolle. I like Alan Watts. I mean, he lived the life. Alan Watts lived the life. I mean, he walked the walk, talked the talk. He left a son. He has at the Alan Watts Institute. Yeah. I just use Alan Watts. Another one I like the LSD guy. What's his name? The LSD guy. He talks about the elf machines. He's got a brother. What's his name? He was big in he does the mushrooms, talks about that, lectured. His command of the English language is phenomenal. I can't think of his name. Who am I thinking of? LA. He's got an older brother who's a botanist. He lived in Hawaii. Joseph Campbell's also good to listen to, his long books. What the hell's his name? He died of brain cancer or aneurysm or something. Can't think of his name. Who is the person I'm thinking of who lived in Hawaii? He spoke extensively on mushrooms. He has an older brother who's a botanist. This is why I love AI. Watch AI get it. That's all I told it. Watch it. Let's see, will AI get it? What do you think? Yes or no? Do you think AI will get it? Yes or no? Why isn't it playing? What the fuck, dude? Why isn't it playing? Yeah, I got it. McKenna. Terrence McKenna. He's great to listen to.
Of Terrence McKenna and his brother Dennis McKenna. Here is how the details align. The mushroom speaker and Hawaii resident, Terrence McKenna, 1946 to 2000, was an ethnobotanist, author, and philosopher who spoke for decades on psilocybin mushrooms, plant-based psychedelics, and human consciousness. In the 1990s, he lived on the Big Island of Hawaii, in Ocean View, Kona, where he built a modernist home and established Botanical Dimensions, a non-profit ethnobotanical preserve dedicated to collecting and preserving shamanic plants. The botanist brother. His brother is Dennis McKenna, B. 1950, a renowned ethnobotanist, pharmacognosist, and scientific researcher. Together, the brothers co-authored early seminal works under pseudonyms, including Psilocybin, Magic Mushroom Grower's Guide, 1976. The age relationship, Terrence was actually the older brother, born 1946, while Dennis is the younger brother, born 1950. If Dennis was the person on your mind, Terrence is his older brother who gave the famous mushroom lectures and lived in Hawaii. Would you like an overview of Terrence McKenna's famous stoned ape hypothesis?
No, I don't agree with it. I'm more interested in his elf machines thing. Tell us about his elf machines.
McKenna coined the term self-transforming machine elves, also calling them fractal elves, tykes, or clockwork elves, to describe intelligent, autonomous-seeming entities encountered during high-dose DMT of N-dimethyltryptamine experiences. According to McKenna, entering a breakthrough DMT state transports the user into an hyperdimensional space, what he dubbed the dome, or translinguistic realm, where these entities immediately crowd around the visitor. Characteristics of the entities: constant morphing. They do not have solid physical bodies. Instead, they are made of shimmering light, fractal geometry, and organic machinery, constantly folding into and out of themselves. Playful demeanor. McKenna described them as hyper-energetic, joyful, and welcoming, behaving like interdimensional caretakers or manic cheerleaders of the cosmos. Linguistic object creation. Their defining behavior is singing complex, multi-dimensional objects into physical visibility. Through a visual form of synesthesia, they fabricate impossible self-assembling geometric jewels or toys out of sound and present them to the observer while repeating, asterisk, look at this, do this. McKenna's interpretations. Rather than writing them off as mere hallucinations, McKenna offered several hypotheses regarding their origin. 1. Interdimensional inhabitants. They are actual autonomous beings residing in a parallel dimension or underlying continuum that human perception normally filtered out. 2. Visible language. They represent the underlying hardwired architecture of human language and thought made visually tangible. 3. Ancestral or post-mortem intelligence. They could be human souls existing in a state outside of linear time, the realm of the dead or unborn. 4. Cellular/DNA intelligence. An expression of biological programming operating at the molecular level within human DNA. Clinical parallel. The phenomenon wasn't unique to McKenna. During the 1990s, conducted government-approved clinical trials of DMT at the University of New Mexico. Even in sterile hospital settings with participants who had no prior exposure to McKenna's talks. Want to explore Dr. Rick Strassman's clinical findings on DMT and...
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Light beings, fractoids, right? Living in the, you know, maybe maybe he's communicating with souls, you know? All right. Yeah, they're just, I don't know, information states. Yeah. Our souls, what we call souls. Or, but they seem to be aware. Interesting. That I didn't know that latter stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to get off. I'm going to go relax. When I go get Tommy, I'll come back on. Your dog can tell. No, dude, if I make a field around me, I would look like I disappeared. Yeah, probably. Who knows? All right, guys. Josh, thanks for the comment. I'm gonna take a break here. Charge up my thing here. I'm gonna go see if there's any